you.
Alrighty, it is time for the show, ladies and gentlemen. We're not going to keep you guys long today. We're going to keep it short and sweet. I promise. We're going to talk about Cody and his producing capabilities, along with Seth Rollins, and where that could potentially go in the future. We're going to talk about Evolution, the booking that's current, and what could happen for the booking, or rather, what we want for the booking of Evolution. And then we're going to talk about Street Fighter, because Street Fighter has some characters that are being casted by some of our favorite WWE superstars. So, first things first, let's get Street Fighter out the way. So, you've been living underneath a rock, then
For the last 30 some odd years.
yeah, then you probably wouldn't know what Street Fighter is. But Street Fighter is a video game franchise, and it's been out since 1991. Okay, it was out when I was a kid. When
I thought it was
Alexis
older than that.
It's 91. That's when they said.
Hold on.
Oh, it might be older
Let me
than
see.
that.
I think it's older than that.
It came out in the 80s.
Street.
It came
Hold
out in
on.
the 80s. It has to be older
It
than
came
that.
out in 1987. I was 2 years
I knew
old
that.
when this game came out.
I was one.
Oh my god.
It came out in the 1980s. Pardon me.
It said 87.
Yeah.
1987 is when the
not
first.
born yet.
Fuck you, you fetus.
It depends on what year it came out. I mean, what time of the year it came out. Because I mean, either way, I was just born. I was born in 86. So it is what it is, babes. It's fine. We're not gonna dwell
Slam's
on it,
hand
Alexis.
turning 40.
She's so wrong for that. Anyways, there is a movie for Street Fighter. Street Fighter has had many movies. It has had many, okay? But they are giving it another one, and hopefully this time they do it right. The last time they did Street Fighter, they did a movie for Chun-Li specifically. It didn't do
Oh
too
god,
well.
that.
None of them
So
movies
I
did
watched.
good.
I think
Hey,
the best
first off,
one was the one that came out in 91. It was real campy, and it had
oh my god, I love that.
the guy who played Gomez in Adam's Family playing
Raw
what's his name?
Julia as M. Bison was probably
That's
the best
yeah.
casting ever. And there's actually something really sweet about that too. He knew he was sick and he didn't have a lot of time left. So reason why he took it, and just him as M. Bison is just fucking, it's cinema to me. Okay, I don't care if you think that's lowbrow. I don't give a shit. But the main reason why he did it is because his kids were big fans of Street Fighter, and he knew he didn't have a whole lot of time left, so he did Bison so they could have something to go watch as their dad. Like, you know, they had the Addams Family and all the other stuff he did, but there he's like, no, I want to do this for my kids, and that was like one of his last acting roles.
Oh.
So it's pretty sweet, but God, that movie will come on. It is so bad, especially with Jean-Claude Van Damme playing a Belgium, playing an American hero.
Yeah, it's
so
one of
bad.
those.
It's actually a bad movie, but
it's good.
But
It's
not
one of
to
those bad
segue,
movies.
and not to segue, and I'm glad it's finally getting its fucking justice. It's the Street Racer movie.
No dead ass.
Because people
That
act
one's
like that
fucking
movie
true.
was so bad, and it's not.
Look,
It has
you
good
can't go into
racing.
yeah.
It doesn't take itself seriously. And now everyone wants to be like, oh, that movie's not that bad. It wasn't that bad when it fucking came out.
Because here's the thing with that. It's like, look what it's based on. You can't take it too damn serious. Like Street Fighter, I remember when I was a kid, they used to play Street Fighters on Sunday. Like it was always like the local channels when they needed like filler or something like that. They would put Street Fighter on. And it was so dumb and it was so stupid. But I would sit there and I would watch it. Like, you know, like everyone's like, oh, it's brain rot. I don't give a shit. For 2 hours, I didn't have to think. And I got to see like Julia deliver some of the sickest burns ever. when Bison invaded your camp, you remember that before. For me, it was a Tuesday or some shit like that. I know I fucked it up, but it's just like, oh, it was so dumb. It was so
So
dumb.
It's
I
like the first Mortal Kombat.
Yes.
That movie is actually pretty bad, but I love it.
I
It's
love that
actually
movie.
I
It's
love it. It's
The first
actually
Mortal Kombat
like
was
watching
freaking
it.
yeah,
It's a
awesome.
horrendous movie. Like
yeah.
it's not
But you
good.
know, but you know what? The CGI for Scorpion, I'm mad that they did away with Scorpion's like actual like arrow thing and the get over here, and they replaced it with like the CGI like snake thing in his hand or whatever. But you know what? I'm watching it nowadays, and it's like, you know what? CGI for this shit back in the day, it looks cheesy now, but back then we would watch and be like, holy shit, this is the future. And now it's the future, and we're like, wow, CGI was better in 1995 than it is in 2025. What the
Yeah,
fuck is going on here?
the way that they were able to meld it in is pretty good. But I have a love relationship with really bad movies, especially if they're interesting enough for me to watch. I love Mortal Kombat. I will fight with anybody over Mortal Kombat. It's not the greatest movie, obviously, but it's a good movie for that feel good moment. Like if you're just like, this is nostalgia, I love this, I'm gonna watch it. So Mortal Kombat is one of
And
those
that's what
guilty
it is.
pleasures
It's
for
just
me.
you're like, again, I fucking watched the original Street Fighter like last year because it was free on YouTube,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, I forgot how good this movie actually is.
This Street Fighter movie
I
I
don't know.
like because I like the guy who played Bison. I'm sorry, I can never get his name right. But
Raw Julia.
yeah, I loved him, and I like obsessed over the Adams Family movies when he did them. So
Yes.
I watch that Street Fighter movie every time it comes on. It's one of those guilty
Lady.
pleasures. It's that classic. You know what I'm saying? But speaking of that,
Oh, well, wait, before we do this, speaking of Street Fighter, shout out. It's the day after Pride Month, but Pride never ends. Just remember that, folks. Shout out to our bi icon, Kenny Omega, because last month they teased a new Street Fighter game, or it's out, and he actually dressed up like the characters, and like guys and girls in them days. The funny thing about it, when he was dressed up as a woman, he was dressed up as Sea Viper. He never shaved his beard, and it looks fucking
I saw that commercial. It's actually really cute. It's
I
funny
was
and
like,
it's
oh my
cute.
god, Kenny.
If he's happy, I'm happy. He
Also,
was
I would
gun
just
ho
like
to
to
do
say
it.
something real quick too. Y'all gave me so much. No, y'all gave me so much shit when I said Miz should have played Johnny Cage, and everyone was like, "Oh, he has to take time off." But you know, when we go for the list, they're gonna have to take time off and learn how to do shit. But I'm just gonna say that real quick.
Um, so the Street Fighter film is casting Roman Reigns as Akuma in this movie. Now you got Andrew Koji, who is going to be playing Ryu, if I
and
recall. And then you have Noah Centineo, who's supposed to be playing Ken. Roman is going to play Akuma. And then I need to. They have other
Jason
people that
Momoa is
they've
gonna
casted,
walk.
but Jason Momoa is going to be Blanca. They have oh fuck, they just casted Andrew Schultz as a character, which I don't fuck with Andrew Schultz, so I don't care. But hold on, I'll pull it up for y'all. They have Kalina Liang. She's gonna play Chun Li, and
I'm
Andrew.
just playing Blanca, and like Roman Reigns playing the Kuma, especially if he plays it like he plays his character like Tribal Chief on TV. That's gonna be fucking
That's the way
badass.
he needs to play it. Um, Andrew Schultz is gonna be playing Dan Hibiki. That's who he's gonna be playing. So
Oh my god,
I
damn.
think he's from the new Street Fighter. So he's going to be playing him. And then there was a new rumor going around. The original casting for Guile was Alan Richardson. And Alan Richardson currently is the guy who plays Reacher on the Reacher show. He's hot. I love him so much. He's a beautiful, beautiful white man. But this is the man that plays this is Alan Reacher, this is Alan Richter, and he plays Reacher on the TV show Reacher. And this was the guy that they originally cast to play Guile. Okay. And from my understanding, he still is cast to play Guile, and he's pretty big in terms of size. He kind of has Guile's build. So that's why I was like, I prefer this than them choosing Cody Rhodes to play Guile. But apparently they have been looking around and shopping around, and there may be some scheduling conflicts with Alan Richter, and it may be Cody Rhodes who gets the part for the U.S. soldier Guile. What do y'all think?
Like I
I think
stated before,
if we're going for look wise, he's Guile. I mean, look how big this is. I still think it's funny. This is the same guy from Blue Mountain State.
That is him.
Which I think is hilarious. I think that's so fucking hilarious. But it's like he looks like Guile. Like
that's him.
I mean, you can leave that picture up for the rest of the show, honestly, if you want to.
I told you he's a beautiful man. I told you.
Like I don't know. Whoa, that picture. Thank you.
I'm trying to tell you.
I mean, I think he looks like Guile, but I mean, I don't think. I mean, no offense to Cody, but like I don't see him as Guile. Like Guile is this big buff, like ex special forces, some part of the fucking armed forces shit. And I'm just like, oh, he's a good looking white boy. Woo.
I told you. I'm telling you.
Hi, baby. How you doing?
That's crazy.
No, I mean, I like the casting that they had. I'm really excited for Jason Momoa to be playing Blanca. He was always my favorite character to play.
Yes,
perfect. That is a perfect casting for Blanca. Perfect.
I used to spam it. My brother hated playing me in Street Fighter because I would play as Blanca and just spam the fucking electrical attacks that he had. And I mean, I'm pretty good with the casting. I don't think Cody is Guile material. I get it, they want the all-American boy, but I'm looking at an all-American boy right here. Roman as Akuma though, that holy shit. Like that would look fucking badass. Like oof.
I saw a lot of fanboys very upset about that casting. They didn't like the fact that Roman was chosen to play Akuma, but I am not mad at it because we all know Roman can be evil as shit. And Akuma rarely, even in the storylines, like when they had Akuma have a storyline, the conversation that Akuma had was very simplistic. There was minimal conversation between him and Ryu. The only thing he did was like really manipulate Ryu into going to the dark side. So
well, a lot of fanfare, and I don't follow the Street Fighter lore because there's a lot of it. But last thing I heard about it was that they are trying to sow the seeds that Akuma is actually Ryo's father, and that's why he's trying to get him. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that like Akuma is Ryo's biological dad, so that's why he's always trying to get him to come over to the dark side and shit.
I don't know if I like that.
So I mean but that was like a rumor. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a big Street Fighter girl, so I don't know like what they're gonna do or if that's legit because I heard that was just rumors. But I'm pretty solid with what they have for casting so far. Like, but I'm still saying this Alan guy needs to be Guile.
Alan Richardson is the guy. That's what I think. But Nicole, What do you think?
I'm gonna be real. I don't care.
See,
I
Not a
literally
video
don't
game
care.
player.
I'm not a video game person, especially nowadays. I low key probably don't. I'm probably not gonna see the movie unless the trailer actually looks really good. I just hope whoever they cast does a great job. They're safe throughout the whole process, and that's it. Like I
she's
honestly
like, "Good
just
luck
don't
and
care.
Godspeed. Good luck and
Yeah.
Godspeed."
I mean, like, I don't know. I think it's like I was always more of a Mortal Kombat girl because, like, when I was a kid, I just used to. My brother used to rent the games for
Now
Sega
that I
Genesis.
will have opinions about, and I've had opinions about, because I'm very mad at them casting Carl Urban, and I don't like to, especially as I like get older and like whatever, and like my viewpoints and stuff. I try not to comment and make comments and have people's limitations due to like their sex and their age and blah 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 blah. But at the same time, I think it's crazy that we have like an almost 60-year-old man playing Johnny Cage.
Miz is right there. Miz is
And
like
I
even
literally got, oh my God, I was arguing with some bitch about this on Instagram. I think it was last year. And she was like, I don't know, she was just so upset because I mentioned a wrestler. And I was like, honestly, I was like, I think he's a good fit. And even if they did pick him, they shouldn't have picked Carl Urban. And I really love Carl Urban. Like, I'm not saying like, oh, I'm a stan, but I like a lot of his stuff. Like, I loved Dredge. Like, I really liked him, and I wish they never canceled it. He was in a really good TV show that was on Fox called Almost Human with
Yes, he
Michael
was.
Ealy. That was like
That's true.
that was a really, really
It
good
was
show.
really
And
good.
I'm so mad that they canceled that.
That was an awesome
That would have
show.
done numbers on a fucking streaming service.
No, it would have.
That TV show, that there's like a whole, and I do want to eventually do like a pop culture like recap. There's like a whole host of shows within, I want to say, that couple year span that
Yeah.
were way too early.
Yeah, if they had just waited maybe a year or two.
No, I think, yeah, they were, the concept, it was, everything was good, but they were too ahead of their time, because
Yep,
that shows like Almost Human, that would have done really good on a streaming service.
it would have.
Um
I
but
just
yeah, he's
remember
good on that. I really liked him. He did a really great Dr. McCoy in
Star Trek.
Star Trek. He's obviously fantastic in The Boys. Like, he's a fantastic actor.
But he's too old to be
He's too
playing Johnny.
old.
He's too old to be playing Johnny. They could have picked anybody,
He's
honestly.
too old. Everybody else in the cast is in their 30s and 40s.
Wait a
Hmm.
minute. He was in Xena Warrior Princess?
Yes, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. He is almost 60.
Was he the
and
god of war? Was he
yeah,
Ares?
Yes.
with
Oh
Aries.
my god.
Actually, no, he wasn't Aries. Oh, he. No, I'm gonna find you who he was. He was not Aries.
Oh, it was Kevin Smith he was
He was,
Caesar.
yes,
He
because
was
he had blonde
Oh,
Caesar.
hair. So
I
that's what I'm saying.
forgot.
Like, he's
Yeah.
been in the game for a very long time, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not gonna look right.
I loved Xena.
That's low key
And
somewhat of an
that was
issue that I'm gonna have. I low key probably am not gonna see the movie because Brad Pitt is starring in it. But
ew.
the
What's
F
Brad
one,
Pitt doing in Mortal Kombat?
but
Oh,
Oh,
the
and
the
F1.
F1
F1
movie.
movie, yeah.
Oh yeah.
But it also doesn't make sense. Like, he's 61 years old. You low key can't do that sport at that age.
My my thing was just like,
Like physically,
No,
because
I agree.
you can only do, and again, like, I don't want to comment, but also you can only do that sport for so long because your hand eye coordination is crazy. I don't think
yeah.
people realize like how, and they don't blink, because if you blink, or they train them, like, you can end up smacking around, literally killing yourself and killing someone else.
Hmm.
So
Um,
they're sitting there driving for that long for 2 hours straight, and you don't blink. You have to make sure your reflexes and your vision, everything else. And obviously, as you age, that slowly starts to, that just, you age, things aren't as sharp as they used to.
Same for
So that
NASCAR
was
drivers.
my thing. And once I found out what, like how old I was like, oh no, this is crazy.
my thing is just like I love Carl Urban. I think he's great in The Boys. He does great as Billy Butcher, like so much better than the actual comic book. Like he's a great guy. But like when they tease at the end of the first, like the new Mortal Kombat movie they did, and they said Cage, my husband was sitting right next to me, and he goes, "If they don't get the Miz to play," and this is he said this without provoke or anything. He goes, "If they don't get the Miz to play Johnny Cage, I'm not seeing this." And then it's like the next day, because Daryl actually likes the Miz, and I said, "Really?" Because I didn't think that would be like the kind of guy he go. He's like, "I just like him. I think he's like a douche on TV, but it's like he's the douchebag that you like seeing his comeuppance." I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. But like the next day, like Miz had put like this like photo of him, like he like it was like photoshopped of like him as Johnny Cage. And I got into and someone I forgot who it was, but I got into an argument with somebody because I'm like, dude, John, he was born to play Johnny Cage. Let him do it. I want to see Miz run around with the stupid cage tattoo on his stomach. Like, I want to see this. It's perfect casting. And someone's like, well, they're going to have to take him off TV and they're going to have to train him. And I'm like, okay, and what's Miz doing exactly? Like, right now that he could not go off TV for like a year and a half or so.
He don't
And
even need to go off for that long.
Not to do Johnny Cage. Johnny Cage
Not to
isn't
do
going to be.
Cage.
He's not going to
yeah,
be an integral part of the movie. He'll be a
I
part of
mean,
it.
I think he will be, but also it's like he has done wrestling enough. He's been in enough projects to be able to pass off as a also there's movie magic and shit like that. Yes,
yeah,
in this form of Mortal Kombat, they did really make it a point to have people on who like hire people who are actually fighters or who know martial arts.
Or can at
'Cause,
least learn it.
yeah, like
yeah.
I think Makad Brooks sort of knows new martial arts.
Yeah.
I don't know about that little white girl who plays Sonya, but she did a fantastic job. I actually really liked her.
Yeah.
Um
Mhm.
the guy who played
Jax.
That was fucking
no,
Jax. You
I
couldn't tell me.
actually don't think he did. I think he's one of the few ones.
No,
Well,
No,
he has training too.
he does.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Sub Zero. No, who was the other guy? Scorpion. I know
Scorpion.
he's like an actual martial artist.
Yeah.
Let me see if I
And
can pull
then
up.
so is he is so fine and I'm forgetting his name so bad. The guy,
The
why
guy
can't
who
I
played
remember his?
Cole.
Yes, Louis Tan.
I think that's his name.
Yes. And he's an actor but also he's a martial artist as well. So
Mhm.
that's what I'm saying. There's enough of them fucking people, they can help him. It ain't that fucking deep.
I would just love to see him do the Johnny Cage like split dick punch. Like that's all I wanted. And it's just like, I mean, it's. I just remember like people getting upset with me mentioning it because they're like they're gonna have to take him off TV, and I'm just like, okay, and he's not exactly in a big storyline right now, and The Miz is actually one of those guys who've paid his dues that he can kind of come and go and do whatever the hell he wants at this point. Like he's gonna be doing some TV hosting stuff, and I'm like, well, he may not be on TV all the time. He's not, and it's no offense to Miz, he's not really on TV a lot any like right now, and it's just like people got so mad at me when I even said he should have played it, and they're like, no, and I'm like, what are you talking about? The guy looks like Johnny Cage, like could you imagine? And then like he gets in it, and could you imagine the cross promotion they can do and how much of an asshole he would have been on TV? Like he really would have been Johnny Cage. And it's just, I mean, I don't know, but like Jax, like the guy, I can't get my internet to work, but the guy who played Jax, I think he did a good job because Jax, like in the games, isn't really a big martial arts guy. He's more power and strength, kind of like boxing. So, I mean, it made sense, but I don't know. But I just want to see if Roman as Akuma is going to be great. I think the casting's going to be good. I don't think Cody needs to play Guile though. Like he's how can I say this in the nicest way possible without people coming for my ass? Um,
I wouldn't care.
Guile's ripped. Cody is not. Cody's ripped. Put your torches and pitchforks down. But Guile is like all American. That's why it's so funny that Jean-Claude Van Damme played him in the first Street Fighter movie. He is supposed to be like 100% American beef boy, military, got the American flag tattoo on his arm. And I was just like why is Jean-Claude Van Damme trying to do an American accent? Was fucking hilarious because you could hear his Belgium accent like slip through if you actually like listen. I'm like, shit, this is gonna bug me now. I mean, I think it's cool that they're actually getting people like, if they're gonna do a martial arts movie, yeah, you want to get people who can actually act and not just stand there and be like fucking 2x4s the entire time.
They're putting Andrew Schultz in the movie to play a Street Fighter character. I think this is just
Where's Andrew Schultz from?
Schultz. He's the
He
guy.
like what?
He has the podcast, but he's a comedian by trade. He is a
And he's
comedian. He has
and
no background in fighting whatsoever.
We're
He is a
acting.
comedian,
All
barely in
this
acting.
is gonna be funny.
It's just
honestly.
gonna be. It's just. I'm not. Okay. So the reason why he got cast as that character is because that character has the quippy, comeback with similar to Johnny Cage. That's how that character is. And to be fair, Schultz can play it. It's not hard. He'll be himself. So
Is he wait? Is
you've
he
never
playing
seen
Ryu?
Andrew Schultz before? No. Hold on, I'll show you who Andrew Schultz is.
Who's he playing?
He's playing a character I believe is from either the second or third set, like Street Fighter Alpha or something like that. But he's playing a character named hold on.
Oh, he's playing Dan?
Yes.
I just looked it up. Oh, that's fine. Yeah, he's fine. Dan's a joke character anyway, so
that's what I'm telling you.
That'll work fine for him. Okay, yeah, whatever.
If you've never seen Andrew Schultz, I'll show you what he looks like.
I mean, I'm looking at him right now.
No, not you. I'm talking about the people listening. The people.
Oh, okay.
Like, I mean, I saw him once. I don't need to see him again. It's fine. It's okay. Totally understand. Schultz is the one who got in trouble recently for talking about Black women on this podcast.
I don't even want to get into all that with him.
But that's him. I'm just saying who he is, honestly. But that's who he is. He's supposed to be playing Dan. And then you have like Alexa said, you have Roman is playing Akuma, and then they have a bunch of people that I really don't know who are going to be playing some of the major characters like Chun-Li and Ryu. They have Noah Centineo playing Ken, which is interesting. I thought that was interesting casting, but slap a blonde wig on him and he'll be fine, I guess. Because he's a brunette by trade. Let me see.
Oh, they'll bleach his hair out.
Yeah, so this is Noah. Noah is the one next to Roman. He was in the movie, the little teen rom-coms, To All the Boys I Loved Before. I believe he was in Sarah Burgess' A Loser, the Netflix one. He was in another movie on Netflix, but he was also in a TV show. Has been working a lot. And he does a lot of rom-coms, like teen rom-coms. And that's been his bread and butter.
So, I mean, I'm excited. I
don't want them to cast Cody. And I know that sounds really bad. And I'm a Cody fan. I love Cody. But they need to stick with Alan Richardson. That's the guy for Guile. To switch off from him to Cody is a major problem, in my opinion. And I just don't like it. He's a phenomenal actor. He can play the part. I mean, even if they're going to go full on and give him the hair and everything, he just has he's the better character or the better actor for that character.
I
I don't want to see Cody play that. Give Cody something else.
My thing, I'm going to use the same line that everyone used on me when I was talking about Miz. If everything is going, if you're looking at the way wrestling is right now and the storylines that we think is going to happen, there's no way Cody's going to have time unless I don't even want to say it out loud unless something bad happens, but he's not going to have time because Guile is actually one of the main characters of Street Fighter, so he's going to need to be there a lot.
Unless they decide to switch off from Cody on TV right now and let him go and not he doesn't get the title back right now, which is very possible. I mean, because there's a lot of people in play for those titles. Cody doesn't have to get it back immediately. It's possible, but to be honest with you, I just don't want to see him do it. I really don't. And
He doesn't give me Guile. He doesn't. I'm sorry. Like
they CGI'd this man with blonde hair. He already has blonde hair. They're gonna have to give him a piece to make it work. But whatever. I'm just not. I want you to keep Alan Richardson. I do. I'm partial to him, and I like looking at him. So just just keep him. Just let it be him.
Just have him run around all oiled up, wearing a tank top. He don't have the top. Just,
I like listening to him talk, honestly. He's a beautiful white man. I don't care what anyone says. I've watched every episode of Reacher. It's one of my favorite new TV shows. He is a beautiful man. He's funny. He's really smart. He's awesome. I love him. And he never gets in trouble. You never hear any stupid shit about him doing anything dumb. He ain't racist. He's a wonderful man. He's a wonderful man.
It's so funny because I catch like clips of like Blue Mountain State and I'll sit down and watch it eventually, and it's so funny because he plays like he's kind of he's a himbo, but like the himbo with like the good heart kind of himbo.
Yeah.
And he's like the mother hen to the football team. And it's so funny because there's this one clip that I've seen and they're having this party and he's like,
oh, the girl stupid. Comes in there and tries to trick him. And he's
like, he sees this guy with this girl and he's just like, you got protection? And he's like, yeah, she's got something. He goes, no, let me see it. So he opens up the condom and he takes like the drink and he pours it in and you just see like all the holes in there.
Yes. I love that clip.
I'm like, okay, that's a yeah. And he starts screaming at her and like,
it's the best thing ever. I love it.
He's got such great comedic timing, and I seen him as Reacher, and I'm just like, damn, like where this is like, the old school Hollywood guys that could do the rom-coms and then they turn around, like Wesley Snipes used to do that shit. Willis used to do that, like the action. They would make like all these hardcore action movies, and then they turn around and make like a stupid little silly rom-com.
Yeah,
I miss actors who can do that shit. So yeah, like
as soon as they turn a really good book into a rom-com and it's got some type of cowboy shit in there, just call Alan Richardson. I'll watch it.
He got a paycheck for the rest of his career doing that shit at this point.
Right? It just got to be a good movie.
I don't even care if it's a good movie. I'll just go watch him on Suits. He'll be like, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? All right.
Nicole's on mute because she's tired of both of us already.
I do not care. I want that. I love that man. I always have that. He's a beautiful man. I do not care. Okay. So let's talk about Evolution quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Evolution, the card for Evolution is being built, and it looks pretty damn good. But we're going to talk about it. So let's talk about the current card for Evolution. Evolution is supposed to be on July 13th. It's on a Sunday. Okay. And so we currently have 2 matches that were added Monday. As a result of Liv Morgan's injury, Roxanne Perez has been given the opportunity to be Raquel's partner, which means she now is the one half of the women's tag team champions. However, because of Finn and his meddling, they now have to defend those titles in a fatal four-way against another Raw team, a SmackDown team, and an NXT team.
Question, real
Mm-hmm.
quick. That could be a downer. How are they gonna do this since they kind of just cut half their fucking women's tag division?
Mm. Maxine and Natalia are a team. They've been walking around Raw as a team forever. And you have over on SmackDown, B-Fab and Meechin are a team, as are Piper and Alba Fire. And on NXT, I told you that they were going to put Tatum and Izzy Dame together as a team, and they just did it today. They are a team, and there's also
And
Soul and Zaria over there.
they
Yeah.
what's her name just pinned Sol Ruka. Izzy Dame.
Well,
Oh, ew.
She actually did good in the match. She's not a
Yeah, but
bad
so
wrestler. She just gets on my nerves sometimes.
I agree.
Yeah, she's like a good wrestler.
She's not bad. She's just
she just gets
annoying.
on my nerves. Yeah.
Yeah,
I just like
Um.
Soul's my girl. You guys know that.
Oh,
So
I
yeah.
obviously also love Sol Ruka, but I'm see, and I think I'm also coming to the point like I don't like Judgment Day, and I would like yesterday, like I wasn't so upset about it because I was like that actually was a good match.
it really was a good
So
match.
I was like, you know what, whatever. Um, but I was like, but yeah, I think it should. It probably is probably going to be Izzy and Tana, which is fine because I feel like the whoever the NXT team is, they're probably going to get pinned.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I can understand it. Like, unfortunately for Roxanne, like it's a case of emergency break glass kind of thing that she had to do that. So but I know Liv was really looking forward, and I can't believe I'm gonna fucking say this. I know Liv was looking forward to like the feud with the Bella twins. I know she was really looking forward to that, and I feel bad for her, because that's something she was really looking forward to. But unless that girl can bounce back like really fucking fast, but I
I
doubt it.
highly doubt it. They said the injury was severe, so she's going to
Oh,
be gone for a while.
it's sad.
That's
Yeah, she had to get
her.
like surgery. So
Emergency.
they're saying she's probably not going to be back till next year now, is
Yeah,
what I'm
like
hearing.
possibly the
It's a lot
earliest
worse
is
than what they
Rumble.
thought.
Yeah, the
Oh,
earliest is Rumble is when they said she could return. That's the
that pop she's gonna
earliest.
that pop she's gonna get when she comes back at Rumble is going to be insane.
And that's
That's
no
why they
shade,
need to
but
bring her back as
as
a
a
face.
face, I agree. I
And I broke it
agree.
down. Look, I broke it down. Is so. Wait a minute. Is Dominic actually legit injured, or
Yes,
is that
Yeah, he is.
yes, he has a real injury, but it's not as bad. It's like a few weeks. So he's not going to be able to wrestle for like a month. So
okay?
it'll be like a little bit past July. They'll probably have AJ and Dom wrestle at SummerSlam.
Okay, because the
It's
way I
like a
was
bruise. He has like a bruised ribs or some shit
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, and
shit,
they don't want to clear him. They want him to heal up, and then they'll have his match with AJ. So
because if
he's
they
that's
do
why
it,
they're using him on TV, and he's not
okay.
like rehabbing at home because it's not that kind of injury, but it is bad enough to where he cannot wrestle.
Because I put it in my group, in our group chat last night, that they can do this with Liv coming back in the most simplest way. First off, Judgment Day needs to go. It needs to just end at this point, right? I know we've been saying that for like 3 years now at this point, or like longer or some shit. But if they do it in the most simplest way, it'll make sense that yeah, Liv realized, okay, I got my revenge on Rhea. It didn't matter when the big stuff came through because Rhea and Damien were always beating their asses down anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But then she could see, she's like, oh, I easily replaced Rhea, blah, blah, blah. But now she's seeing it that she was easily replaced. And she's like, there's no fucking honor among these hoes. These hoes ain't loyal. Because she's like, I'm not here. I mean, she was doing the same thing Rio was doing. She was out there getting the matches, getting them title shots, getting all this shit. And then she's like, wait, you guys just threw me to the wayside like you did her? Like, that's what I can kind of see it. But it's simple, it's efficient. And I think her and Roxanne could put on like a great feud when she comes back. And we have time to build it up. But Judgment Day's gotta go at this point because there's
Well, for
none of these
now, they don't seem
are
to be
there.
going anywhere.
Oh yeah.
So we just have
Finn's
to
gonna
wait and see.
Finn's gonna fuck it up somehow and cause him to break down, and then can he not wear pants anymore? Like that's the only like I don't care if he's evil, but can he be evil Finn while wearing the little trunks again and not these fucking pants and shit? Like
I honestly am not. I'll say it like this. I feel like when Judgment Day really starts to get on people's nerves to the 1000th degree, Finn comes up with a plan to shift the narrative. He did it the second time with Liv, and now he's doing it again with Roxanne. And this time, Liv, it's poetic justice at its finest. It's one of the most unfair for Liv Morgan, but it is one of the most ironic things for you to have to literally do exactly what Rhea had to do, is a freak accident, the injury, and then you're gone. And now you're sitting on the sidelines. Your story literally mirrors hers, bar for bar, word for word. So they couldn't have planned it even if they wanted to. And I think that is the Nicole is right, that bringing her back as a face is the smartest thing to do. And they have time. The thing is, everybody needs to do stuff immediately. There's nothing wrong with Nikki Bella or Brie. They're both fine. We don't have to have them wrestling for the tag team titles, which they could be that secondary team for the Raw team if that's what they want to do. But you don't have to have them wrestling for the tag team titles for the storyline with her and Liv to continue. The storyline with her and Liv was between her and Liv, and Nikki Bella said she doesn't plan on going anywhere. This isn't going to be a one-off thing. She's going to come back as often as they'll let her, so they can have that moment probably next year heading into SummerSlam, make it a bigger marquee match instead of using it for Evolution. It's no shade to Evolution, but SummerSlam is a bigger match. And quite frankly, Liv Morgan has worked her ass off to be able to earn the right to be able to headline a major PLE for as many times as she can. So give her what she's deserving, especially with her holding down that Raw Women's division the way that she did.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying. Nicole, you got anything else to say about this one, or are you going to move on to the next match?
No, we can move on.
Okay. So the first match they booked for this show for Evolution was this one. It was JC Jane, and they had a whole tournament in NXT, and Jordan Grace was the one who came out on top. She is going to be competing against JC Jane for her NXT Women's Championship. All right. That was the first match they booked, and then we have been coming out the woodwork. So for the last couple of days, they had this match booked. This match was booked on Monday as well. Monday, EO came out there and challenged Rhea Ripley, and Rhea Ripley accepted. So we're going to get this match, and I think after this match, EO's probably going to beat Rhea. And then I think that it's going to be Asuka versus EO at SummerSlam, or I hope it is.
Shit. That would be fucking.
Wouldn't it be good though? Because it did that little piece you got when she told her, she was like, "We're not in damage control anymore," and I was like, "Ooh, I love a good mess. Let's do it."
Because if you think about it, if you go back to, and I'm not saying Io couldn't stand by herself, but like during the damage control time, she always had someone to back her ass up.
Yeah.
And we were always like, no, one of them bitches need to turn on her, and they didn't. So now it's like, I could watch Rhea versus Io every single day and not get bored, right?
Mhm.
But like, no offense to my wife, I love her, but Io versus Asuka, I will be sat. No one's gonna talk to me. No one look at me. No one do shit. I'm gonna sit there and watch them just put on a fucking 5-star classic because you
Mm,
know that's what they're gonna do.
yep.
Now, the last match that they have on the card currently.
Oh, actually, I have something to say,
Okay.
and a lot of y'all aren't gonna like this.
Oh
Rhea
god,
needs to go back to the back of the line
she does.
I don't have a problem with
exponentially.
that.
She
I am.
needs to go to the back of the line, and she needs to remain there for at least 9 months.
I will
Yeah.
move her to SmackDown.
Isn't
I'm
she
sick
on?
of
I
her.
thought she was on SmackDown.
No, she's not. A priestess.
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
Um, I'm tired. I'm so tired. I'm so fucking tired. Bitch, you only just want to guess Raquel. That's not that hard to beat that lady.
She's like 5-1 against Raquel
You
now.
beat her, and then you automatically get to get a fucking title shot after you just lost. When did she
At
just
Mania.
lose?
Yeah,
She,
she
I
did
feel
yeah,
like
lose.
it was after that.
no, she
Mm-mm.
lost.
It
Her
was at
last big.
Mania.
Yeah, that was the last time I think she went up for a title. I think.
Yep. And then she lost. She lost the opportunity in Queen of the Ring because of Raquel, and then that's how that spiraled. But she,
And then she got into Money in the Bank, but she lost Money in the Bank.
was she in Money in the Bank?
Yeah,
Yes,
Stephanie did Devil's Kiss on the ladder to her,
Damn, she was.
that was
which
her first. Apparently, that was her first ladder match or something.
I could have sworn she was in a Money in the Bank before
She
that though.
wasn't. She
She's
was
never been
not.
in Money in the Bank because guess what? She had a
She's
fucking
always been
title.
champion. It was her. It's her, Bianca, and Charlotte are always either going after a title or they are champion around the time that Money in the Bank comes up. Every time.
Because I don't think Bianca's ever been in a Money in the Bank.
She
Still,
has not.
I thought she had been.
no.
Nope. Nope.
I could
Nope.
have
I
sworn she
told
was
you.
in one. She lost.
Every time Money in the Bank comes up, she is either champion or she is going after a title. Every single time. The last year she was tag team champion. So she
Oh,
was always having a title or she was going after one. She's never been available for her to be able to compete in Money in the Bank.
oh, I'm thinking Elimination Chamber. That's the
Oh no,
Mm-hmm.
she's been in 5 million
She been
elimination
in
chambers.
those. She's been in
okay.
those.
See, that's
But
how
But
did
in
I get Elimination
retrospect,
Chamber?
that is always around Mania, and guess what?
yep,
They want her on a Mania card.
yep.
So that's the same thing with Rhea. Actually, I don't think has Rhea been in an elimination chamber.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say she was.
I want to say she was. Hold on.
My
Let's
internet's
look it
acting
up.
up. I can't look up shit right now.
I got it.
But besides my point, and we can probably eventually move on, I'm tired. I'm so tired.
Well, that's the whole thing. They gotta make sure that if they are gonna build up, so I don't want Io as a transitional champion. Like, she has worked too damn hard,
But she's
and
not a
to be like,
She's not.
transitional.
Yeah, she's had it
I
too
know,
long
but
to be
I,
considered a transitional champion at this point.
She's been in Rhea Ripley has been in one chamber. It was when they were in Australia.
I
They
thought,
were in
wait,
Perth.
No, she
no,
did. She wasn't
no,
in the chamber. Um,
she was
she
fighting
had the
Nia when they were
title.
in Perth.
Oh yeah, it does say it was at elimination. It was at Naya. I don't think she's actually been in the chamber.
Okay, this is my point.
Or am I thinking War Games? I don't fucking know anymore.
She's been in a bunch of. I think she's been her, EO, and somebody else have been in the most award games.
Yeah, that's true. But she's never. I don't think she's never been in a chamber. I don't think, and she's never been in money in the bank except for this year. Because I'm looking it up and I can't find it. I don't see her name on here anywhere.
I don't know. I'm the same way though. They need to find like someone new because like I love Bria, but no.
It's not that it's like this. Rhea right now is one of the most over superstars, so they're gonna use her. She's very similar to Cody, Bianca, Seth. She's just gonna be there. It doesn't matter if she has a title or not. She's gonna linger around it. That's kind of the deal. Me personally, I think it's time for her to be moved to SmackDown. She doesn't have to be champion. She can go after the title and have a feud and lose. Put her in the mid card division like they did with Becky. She doesn't have to be going after that major title. She could give that US title after Julia drops it. She could give that
Mm-hmm.
US title some prestige. Let her run with that. There's all kinds of ways to use Rhea without putting her in the main event or the big title scene. There's all kinds of ways to do that. So, in my humble opinion, I understand exactly what Nicole is saying. You're just getting fatigued. You're tired. You're logged out, and that's fine. And Io being champion, I understand where Alexis is coming from. You don't want her to just drop it back to Rhea just because Rhea, she's the fan favorite. She
Yeah.
won't. I don't think that she will. Rhea Ripley has yet to beat Io Sky, and to me, to have her beat her in a one-off match like at Evolution and then go on to SummerSlam to headline SummerSlam is unnecessary because you could have just had Rhea keep the title at Mania if you were going to do all of that. You're wasting our time is my point. The better matchup because Asuka's going after that championship to go into SummerSlam. I don't care what anybody says. The better matchup is Asuka and Io. We all know the chemistry that Asuka and Rhea have. It's not good. If you go back and watch some of their matches, they're terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. And I don't mean no disrespect, but some people just don't have good chemistry and they don't. They don't have good chemistry with each other. And I don't know what it is. If it was Rhea's inexperience at the time or whatever, but they don't work well with each other. They don't gel well together. And I would rather watch Io and Asuka beat the hell out of each other and have some fun than to have to try to entertain myself watching Rhea and Asuka battle it out. Rhea can go after a title another time.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't want to see it. Speaking of titles, Evolution is going to have their inaugural Battle Royal again, but this time the Battle Royal has some incentive. So all of the women who compete in the Battle Royal this year have an opportunity to gain a championship match at Clash in Paris. So whoever wins the Battle Royal will be able to compete for a championship match at Clash in Paris. Which championship? I don't know. They didn't say. They didn't say they would earn a match for against their person of their respective brand. They didn't say all of that. Okay. So we will just wait and see. All right. And those are the matches that are scheduled for Evolution. Right now, Tiffany Stratton is not booked for Evolution, and I imagine she won't be. She just defended her title this past Friday before Night of Champions, so she probably won't be competing at Evolution. So did Zelina Vega. She just lost her championship to Julia. They could run it back for Evolution and give Zelina Vega another shot at her title. I'm not quite sure how that would work, but they could. And I know that Becky and Lyra and Bailey are more than likely going to be booked as a triple threat for Evolution, probably by next week as well. So What else do you think they need to add to Evolution? Because right now we're at what, 4 matches?
Let me see. I've been writing them down. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 4.
We're at 4 matches for Evolution. Three of them are title matches, and one of them is a match heading into Clash in Paris for a championship. So, do you think they need to add another match to this card, or do you think they should keep it as it is?
I feel like it's
Um,
missing something. They should probably add another match.
Or you think it's missing something?
Yeah.
I think they
Okay.
need to add. They need to add one more match, and
Yeah,
Okay.
just
then
one more.
Hmm.
and leave it at that because they don't need to.
So
If they
should it be
wanted,
like a singles match or like a tag match? Like what
I'm
kind of match
I
should
think
they
it should just
add?
be. I think it should just be a singles match.
A singles, a
yeah.
non-title, or should it be one of the
Yes,
outside? Because they're gonna add Becky, Bailey, and Lyra to this,
and
which is
that's
gonna
If they're
make
fine.
it. Yeah,
And
that's gonna
then
be a 5.
Soul is going to defend her title at Great American Bash, so she's not going to be on there, which is weird
Okay.
because they have her on the poster. But she'll probably honestly be in that battle royal,
Yeah,
so
she
it's
might be in
whatever.
that battle royal to fill it out. Hmm.
I
I
think it should whoever has low key. Honestly, it should be Jade and Naomi.
You think so?
that that I
Yeah,
actually agree with that because it doesn't need to be a title. I get what Nicole's saying. It doesn't need to be a
It
title
needs something
match.
that's got some
like
heat to
we
it.
need like a
It's
grudge
got
match.
You need some
yeah,
heat. Yeah.
Because
like you need to
everybody
have it.
else is very straightforward. Like that battle royal, hopefully it's not a fucking mess like it was the last time.
Oh
Um,
god,
that was so bad.
It
That was
was.
I was so
just
bad.
keep
I'm like,
just keep
I
Selena
remember
away
I
from
looked
Selena.
up who produced it and then I forgot. I'm gonna look it up again because that
Keenan
I
was
think it
said
was
it's been confirmed that it's 7 or 8 matches.
7 or 8. I
How?
think
then where's the other fucking matches?
Right, because it's
I
next week. It's next week.
I'm gonna miss it because I'll be at work. I'm gonna be pissed. No, I think they need to put Naomi and Jade on there because they need to have that. They need to have matches that don't have just titles because we just came off Night of Champions, even though there really was no a lot of champions on there.
Hmm.
But that's besides
You're
the point.
right.
I don't want to start that argument up again. Um, but like they need to have like the feuds that are kind of like Jade and Naomi that it's personal or like something that's been brewing with two women in the back and they're just like fuck it, we're fighting at Evolution. Because like to be honest with you, the last time they ran Evolution, the main event to me was Becky and Charlotte in that like what no holds bar, no
Oh, I love
disqualification.
that match. I love
That
that
was
match.
fucking to me that was the main event.
That was
Like
my
that was
favorite match. It
that was
was.
that was the because I'm gonna be honest, I did not like the first Evolution, which sounds horrible because this is something like women wrestling fans have been wanting for like
No,
fucking
but
ever.
we can. It's
No, we've
okay to.
talked about it because
Yeah,
I think I've said on here I recently I think it last year I rewatched it to make sure if I thought it was bad.
and it
And it
was.
was, and I said it because I
Yeah.
remember. I think I came back in a group chat, like the
Yep.
main, the big one. I was like, "Ooh, that's Evolution was stinky."
Yes.
And
The
that's
only
why
thing I remember,
people. That's why, like, when fans were fucking screaming and bashing their heads on concrete, freaking out, asking like, "Oh, how come we haven't had an evolution? How come we haven't
Because
had
the
an
first one
evolution? Blah
sucked.
blah 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 blah. Evolution, evolution, evolution." I said the first one was good, was not good.
the only
It was
thing, the only
bad.
two things I remember, well, three things I remember because I was listening to an older podcast we had today,
Mhm.
was Naya injuring Zelina, and of course Becky versus Charlotte. But then it was also like that 6-woman tag match where it was like the Riot Squad versus Alicia Fox, Mickey James,
Oh
I
my
didn't like
and
that match. I
Alexis
hated
Bliss.
god.
it.
The only reason I remember
Hated
that
it.
is because the Riot Squad came dressed in like they came dressed out like as horror movie villains. Like Ruby was
That was so
Jigsaw.
bad.
Liv, I forgot who. I wasn't talking about you. I don't remember who Liv was. I think Liv was Pennywise, and then Sarah was Leatherface because it was in October,
So
That
wasn't
and I
sounds
was like,
Liv
about
and
right.
wasn't yeah, they want a bunch of fucking costs. I was so pissed about that. Yeah, because they were Jigsaw, and then Alexa Bliss and them. I forgot what they dressed as, but they
Alice
also
in
had costumes.
Wonderland.
I said, "Oh
Alice in
my
Wonderland.
god!" I was
I
But it
like,
just
wasn't
didn't
even
like the matches. I didn't like any of them but
I didn't like
Charlotte
nothing.
and Becky's. Charlotte and Becky's was the best. Oh, it
when
was so good.
I remember this, even though it was like so many years ago, when Becky had Charlotte up on the top rope and they were about to do that superplex off the top rope. And Renee was on, it was either Renee or Beth Phoenix, I can't remember, but one of them was on commentary. I think it was Renee. And you just see like Becky taking Charlotte back and you hear Renee screaming, "This is women's wrestling." And to me, that was like a pinnacle point because I was just like, this pay per view is fucking trash. We have Ronda versus Nikki Bella as the main event, and then like Charlotte and Becky came out and literally brought the fucking house down. And I was like, nothing. I'm like, no, cancel the feed at this point. Cancel the feed because this was the best match of the night.
At that point, before the show happened, the best feuds on paper were Charlotte and Becky's, and then you had Ronda and Nikki's stuff. And then the matches, I didn't like Ronda and Nikki's match. I didn't like it. I wasn't
That
a
match
fan.
was good.
And I was like, they should have put Charlotte and Becky last.
They tore that fucking house down because like you can tell by the crowd because the crowd was trying to get into it and like Riot Squad tried their best when they were trying to fight the stripper version of Alice in Wonderland over there,
I
right? Like
hated their match. I hated
they
their
were
match.
that wasn't even good gear. It looked like they went to party. Like at least the Riot Squad like made it them like their own personalities because like Sarah Logan as fucking Leatherface that fit perfectly. Ruby did the jigsaw makeup. So her gear looked like it. Liv came out like it fit them. And then those three hoes were over there like, oh crap, we need something. And they just ran to Party City and found the skankiest Alice in Wonderland costumes you can find. And they're like, oh, this is wrestling gear. No, it's not. But I just like the crowd was so dead. And then once like Charlotte and Becky started and they were like just holding nothing back, that crowd woke the fuck up. And it's like, where have you been all night? And then, but then you're right, you're watching, you're like, wow, this really isn't that good.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't
I
a good
really, a lot of
feeling.
people, and I do appreciate the event itself. It is groundbreaking, is
Mm.
monumental, blah blah blah. I love all of that. But at the same time, I think everyone really looks at it with rose-colored glasses
I
when it
agree.
was just a mess of a show.
It was.
It was.
It was not good. Like, what was it? How many matches they had on there? At least what, five? What,
Yeah,
like
because they
six
had
match?
that.
You got
They
like
had
six
the
matches. Only one of them was good.
the NXT
Yeah.
match was good. What was that? Like the what was that match they
Oh
had?
shit! It was Shayna and somebody.
It was Shayna and
Oh
Kyrie.
Kyrie.
no,
It was
it was
Shayna and
the
Kyrie. That was good. And didn't
Midwest
Tony
Classic.
win? Didn't Tony win something that night too?
Oh, the May
Oh
Young Classic.
shit! That was, I forgot about that.
That's when
Damn.
Tony
Yeah.
won.
Yeah, like they had about, I'll give them three. They had about three matches on there that was solid. Everything else was garbage.
I'm
And I
sorry,
just
Tony.
I
I
just was like,
totally forgot about that.
no. I was like, no, this is bad. This is really bad.
So
But
that's
I liked Shayna and Kyrie's match. I liked that match. I did like the match that Tony Storm had. That was a good match. And then like that was in 2018. Nia Jax is the one who won the Battle Royal that year.
I forgot who won that battle royal.
She
Honestly,
won the
see,
Battle Royal.
I try
I
not to think about.
I gotta agree with Nicole. Like what she was just saying about people like banging in their heads against concrete and screaming for this crap.
Can I get a
Like
squirt, please, babe?
it just I mean like it was just and they're like oh they don't need to be in such a smaller venue because they're setting the women up for failure. Dude, it wasn't really that good.
So
Like
you
And the
had
venue also wasn't that small.
no, it was
no,
it was a
They're
pretty
acting like they were in a fucking gymnasium.
a
yeah.
high school gymnasium.
You had Rhea Ripley facing off against Dakota Kai. She had the NXT UK Women's Championship then. Trish Stratus and Lita went up against Mickey James and Alicia Fox, but Mickey James wasn't wrestling because she got injured, I believe. So Bliss was wrestling her, and Fox were wrestling against Lita and Trish.
So where did the riots? So was I like, am I having a fever dream about the riot squad dressing up then?
Yeah, because no, Sasha,
Is that
Bailey, and Natalia went up against the Riot Squad. That's what you're
oh
remembering.
that's
And
I just
then
remember yeah.
Tony Storm beat Io Shirai for the 2018 Mae Young Classic Tournament final. Nia won the Battle Royal. She eliminated Ember Moon. Then Shayna Baszler beat Kairi Sane by submission. And then Becky Lynch went up against Charlotte and she beat her. And then Ronda beat Nikki Bella by submission. So I can honestly say on this whole card, the matches I really enjoyed were Charlotte and Becky's, Shayna and Kyrie's. I did like Tony Storm's, and I remember Rhea and Dakota's match. It wasn't bad. It was okay.
Mhm. Yeah, I just I mean, if Evolution is better this year, then maybe they can do like maybe a bi-yearly thing where it's like every 2 years or something like that. But
Holy shit, he pinned. Oh my gosh.
What
what?
happened?
Oh, I can't say his name, but old dude from wrestling from Noah pinned. Why am I blanking on his name? Do with the Chains from Evolve or from the
Inamura beat Jasper.
yeah.
Hmm,
Whoa,
interesting.
that's
Oh, look
nice.
at Jordan. Where's Mariah? That bitch said, "Oh, I should call her by her new government name."
Blake.
Blake.
Blake Monroe. God, I fucking love that name.
She hasn't been around since she got put through that table.
She said she posted that she was going to be on NXT tonight, so she's either gaslighting or she's about to pop up in this segment.
Either way,
Uh,
Nicole's okay with it. She's one of the very few wrestlers she allows to
Hunter,
get like.
you better be so lucky I'm not in Vegas while you're filming this dumbass commercial and I kick you off the top of Allegiant Stadium, motherfucker.
I'm so upset with them about that shit.
Wait, so what's going on?
They're going back to Vegas.
Oh yeah,
And Nicole
yeah.
is like, she's calling them greedy because they're
It
going back
is
to Vegas.
greedy.
It is greedy. Like I think we all said that at one point. Like
Yeah.
they're doing it like it's very one of the very rare like occasions that like when I told Daryl and he's like because me and my husband we want to go to Vegas, right? And he's like, well, why don't you want to go during WrestleMania? I said, okay, first off,
It's going to be
Nicole went.
gross.
That's what I told her. I said, look, Nicole went. You don't even want to know how much she spent on Uber just to get to places. The
She won't
hotel rooms
tell us
are
how much she spent, and I don't blame her. Cause
like the hotels are going to be
I'll tell
jacked
you,
up.
I honestly think I spent over $200 on Ubers. I'm not exaggerating.
So
just
that's
to
just
get
on
around,
Yes.
just to get around. And
It's
then I'm
low
like,
key our fault. Well, our Airbnb was in North Vegas. So North Vegas is about, depending on like where you're at in North Vegas, was about, I want to say like maybe 15-20 minutes from the strip or from downtown Vegas. But also, again, last minute, you could stay on the strip, but obviously like last minute there's not a lot of
yes,
availability
but even
unless you're really, really dropping a bag into at that point that's not even worth it to spend that much fucking money.
yeah, but the
But
hotels in Vegas are already unless you go during their off season. But I mean, on the strip, you're looking into maybe $300 a night, and that's just for like a one
oh no,
bedroom.
it's more than that.
that's fucking crazy.
So it's like it is greedy because I told him I said, look, the hotels are already going to be expensive, even though like he gets like a discount through his job or whatever. I said they're going to be it's going to be expensive even then because I told him I said Nicole didn't stay on the strip. Can you imagine how much we paid on the strip? Because I'm like her Uber. I was just telling him everything she told us, and I go, look, Vegas is already going to be slammed packed full of people. Like my social anxiety will already be through the fucking roof, and I will probably be drunk half the time
Yeah.
to just deal with it.
Surprisingly, the amount of people didn't necessarily bother me.
It
which
would bother me.
I concerned about the way that everyone is so dispersed out. There's so much literally to like go inside to do, even though there's 1,000,001 fucking people. It's not it honestly, especially when we were like around like a huge group of people. I forgot what we were going to. I think we were going to like this is when we were just like taking side quests. I think it was when we went to like we're gonna go check out like Burlington and like TJ Maxx and shit like that on the strip. And it's still like, yeah, there's a lot of people, but again, it wasn't like overwhelming
Yeah,
in
but
a
it's like
sense.
yeah, but it's like WrestleMania, and I'm like, I go, well, wait, do you want to take Kiddo? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, oh no 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 no. If we're taking Harley to WrestleMania,
That's a lot of walking.
we're not taking her to Vegas with us, especially. And I told him, I said, it's the first time you and me are going to Vegas. I kind of want it just to be you and me. And then I'm like, because I told him about, I'm like, and I'm like, look, I can deal with tourists. I can deal with, Vegas people, whatever, because Vegas is a tourist town. I grew up in a tourist area, whatever, right? I can deal with that crap. But it's the fact that there's going to be the extra added wrestling fans on there, and some of y'all don't clean your ass. I'm not going to be out in the fucking desert heat smelling you
Yeah.
for 6 hours. Fuck that.
Surprisingly, it depends. Oh geez, he's in a gauntlet match with those
I just,
motherfuckers.
feel like,
Honestly, it
Yeah.
depends on where you're at because I don't know how to explain it. But
Excuse me.
the conjunction of like wrestling fans and like real people, I don't know. It was just like the mix. Like there was like a decent like a decent amount of there was like a decent amount of like like regular people, but also like a good. It was like very mixed bag. I think
well,
because of the time of year Mania was, I don't think there wasn't a lot of just like random tourists.
yeah, it's just he wants to bring Harley with us, and I'm just like, dude, it'd be one thing if we were going to like
Yeah.
Royal Rumble or like SummerSlam or Survivor Series or something like that, but it's like this is Mania, and if we go, I mean, it sucks because she's in school like the entire week. Like I'm like, if we didn't have her, I would want to go to the whole experience. Like I would want to go to GCW and see their shows. I would want to see the indie shows. I would want to go to a blood sport show. I would want to do the whole thing. I'm not going to have to be like dealing with mom, I'm tired, mom, I'm hungry, Alexis, I'm tired, Alexis, I'm hungry. Okay, well, you're a grown man, go figure yourself out. And I'm not taking her back to the hotel. I'm going to Bloodsport. Like you guys can go do whatever. I'm gonna go see Effie's big gay brunch that he does out there. I'm doing
Sounds
that
like
kind of
you
shit.
got it under control if that's what happens. I mean,
Like, you guys go wait, I'm gonna go, you guys go over y'all,
all right,
I'm going
just
over
tell
y'all.
Daryl, like, hey, you're tired, she's tired. Two peas in a pod. How about you go back to the hotel and I'm gonna go over here. You live
Yeah.
your best life.
Yeah, it's a lot, and it's just, I don't know. Vegas, like, Vegas just seems very intimidating to me, and it's just like, I don't know. I don't like the fact that it's greedy, and the fact that I'd rather, what they need to do? They need to have something down in Puerto Rico, because like Carol would jump on that shit. Like he's still
I
to,
don't know if they would be able to handle the infrastructure amount of people for a Mania.
no, I
And
No,
mean, like,
I
I'm
mean
not
that in the
talking like
best
they
no,
do
they
it a
possible
don't
way.
Mania,
have a
like,
big enough
like,
arena for it.
Yeah,
no, I mean,
in
like, if they do like
space.
backlash down there again or something like that, because to this
Okay.
day he is still mad at me that I didn't tell them that they were having backlash in Puerto Rico, and he's like, we could have went, and I'm like,
Well, Bad
what?
Bunny said he wants to come back to the E at some point. He's one of the highest in demand artists in the world, and he's constantly touring. If he's not touring here in the States, he's touring overseas. I don't think that
Yeah,
man sleeps.
he's going on an international tour right now. Like either he is on one or right now, or he's getting ready
No, he's
to
currently on
go
a
do.
tour. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't
So,
know. I don't want to go to Vegas for Mania. That's no, ew, no.
well, hopefully they'll add that. Keenan said they're adding at least four more, maybe five more matches to that card for
There's no way.
Evolution.
That's a
And I'm
That
lot.
car
like, an eight
challenge that
match. an 8-match card is well out of WWE's frame of how they set up their PLEs. I don't think they're going to add that many matches to the card. I
I
would
can
at
see them
max
to the most.
two more
Yeah.
matches for that card. I don't think they're going to add any more than that. So it might be 6 for the card, but I don't think they're going to have that many. They're not going to have that many matches on the
They
card.
don't even have that
can't.
many matches at fucking Mania.
No,
Yeah.
but the original Evolution did have 8 matches, but we don't need it for this one.
I mean,
And I honestly wouldn't do it because it just would not. Nobody. I'm sorry, but people's attention spans are not getting longer. It's getting shorter. And while we love wrestling and we'll sit and watch a 2 to 3 hour show, that's not always going to be the case with everyone else. So they're going to need to put on matches that are going to be hyped, that people are going to want to watch, and not just create something out of thin air because they can. I really think they should stick to the 5 to maybe 6 format for these matches and leave it at that. Don't go beyond the 6.
Honestly, I don't think they need to have this battle royal thing just for it to be a title match in Paris. Like, okay, I get it's the incentive, but you already have I mean, I don't know, it's weird because I don't want
idea.
I don't want too many like irons in the fire, if that makes sense, because you got Naomi running around with the Money in the Bank briefcase, and no, I don't want it to be like she's got the Money in the Bank, and then like someone wins, and now they have like there's another I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's just.
I think you're overthinking it. You're thinking of it like they're all running together when they're not. Evolution is on the 13th, and then not Money Bank, but SummerSlam is on the 2nd and 3rd of August. So by the time we get to Clash in Paris, it'll be August 31st. That is the end of the month. They'll be 3 weeks out. So what WWE is doing is preparing and taking 2 steps ahead, so they don't have to keep finding ways to book people. They can use this and kill 2 birds with 1 stone, which I think is really smart because it keeps them from having to create a rivalry out of thin air. They already have it booked. She won the Battle Royal, so she's gonna head into Clash in Paris. You already know who's going to be champion by then. So the match is already set and ready to go. So I like it.
Leading in, because once SummerSlam's done, they're gonna. I mean, it's September, but that's when they're gonna start winding down for the year because you got September. They're gonna have what's their show in September?
They usually do something like Payback or something new like that, and then they have October where they have they're going to Perth for Crown Jewel, and then in November they have Survivor Series, which they've already announced. It's going to be in San Diego this year.
Yeah, and then that's a wrap for them for the rest of the year then.
Except for that Saturday night main event, that's John Cena's final match. That's the last big thing they're gonna do, which I think is gonna be either the beginning of December or that right around my birthday, like December 12th or 11th. Let me double check.
Yeah, but by then, like people who I'm kind of glad they're doing it on a Saturday night. Well, because they're having that. Is it a Saturday night main event? Like special presentation, or is it like going to be a PLE that I heard he was going to have?
It's a TV show, so it's going to be a TV special. It's not going to be a PLE, but you can watch it on Peacock, but you also can watch it on NBC. So it's a TV special. It'll come on, and it's since this year the 13th is on a Saturday. I think it's going to be Saturday night main event. It's going to be on the 13th of December, and I think that they're going to compete. Johnson's going to have his last match there, and then that'll be that.
Yeah, that makes sense because by then, they'll probably be like, "Hey, if you guys want to be," they'll be like that thing is like, "Hey, if you guys are still here, can you work Saturday Night Main Event for us, and then we'll see you first of the year."
Yeah, because I think what's going to happen is after Saturday Night Main Event, that's when everybody is going to start going on vacation, and you're going to have a lot of like pre-tape shows.
Poor Blake did not think about that run-in outfit very well. Little girl, old girl was tiptoeing down like Charlotte did that one time when she had those heels on.
Yeah, because the first Monday of 2026 is Monday, January 5th, so that's when they'll be coming back to work pretty much. They'll be clocking back in for the year. Yeah, that makes sense. They're out there. So, God, I can't believe it's already July. What the hell? Cute.
Damn, they using the hell out of Tatum, ain't they?
I'm telling y'all, she's the next breakout star.
I
I love
told
my.
y'all that they should have put her with Izzy. I knew that they were gonna do that, and it worked. So, stick your head in doo doo.
We're so mature on this show.
I am. Okay, we're at the end of the show, but I did want to talk about something very briefly. So, if you watch Cody Rhodes' podcast, what do you want to talk about? He had Damian Priest on there this week, and they were talking about how he and Seth had to produce a show due to a storm. They couldn't get the producers out. They wanted to get the stars out to make sure the people who paid their money could, see the show that they paid for. And they said they did a good job. Damian said that he and Seth did a good job producing the show, and that this is obviously something that Seth is going to want to do or should do when it's time for him to hang up his boots. And obviously, Seth has made it very clear that that is something that he wants to do to transition into the back, which is fine. I love that for them. But it got me thinking because we have been racking our brains. If you hear somebody talking, it's just my husband in the background, so I apologize. But we've been racking our brains trying to figure out like what episode did they produce, because I thought it was a Raw. And I was like, I don't remember there being a big snowstorm or any of that. I don't remember that. But it turns out I don't think that it was. I believe the girls and I have been like looking, racking up. Nicole's been losing her shit. Okay, she's been going down a full rabbit hole. She getting mad because she can't find what she want to find. Child, I was sitting here for yesterday. Somehow it came across my mind yesterday, and I was looking it up, and I'm like, there was no Raw in El Paso, Texas, so it had to be an event. It had to be a WWE live event that they had, and they decided to go with and do that. But they got caught up after they were in Omaha, Nebraska. They got caught up in the snowstorm, so they got to Nebraska after they chartered a flight. Cody was going to pay for it, but WWE ultimately put it on their dime, got all the superstars that were scheduled to be there on the flight, and they got there and there were no producers. So Cody and Seth had to produce the entire show. They had to do everything, and they were able to get it done. And I mean, I expect nothing less from Seth and Cody. Cody used to do it all the time in AEW. He's going to say that he didn't have to, but I don't believe it. I don't believe that at all, actually. And I know that they're capable. I know that they learn and they understand how a show is supposed to look. Working for WWE as long as they have, they know what it's supposed to be and how it's supposed to look. They know the vibes. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I'm not surprised at this, but I do want to get everybody's opinion because there is going to come a time where the guys that we see now, the guys like Kevin, Sammy, Roman, obviously Roman's transitioning out now, but the guys like Kevin and Sammy and Seth and probably one of the Usos, maybe Gunther might do it, you have Cody and the Randy, these big names, these big guys who aren't going to be able to wrestle forever. So what do you think about them transitioning into production and how that could look because for me specifically, I think it would be great because of one factor. Triple H is one guy, and I find that a lot of times the reliance on one person in WWE is just too strange for me. I need them to move in a position where we have the stuff is diversified. And I need them to have people who are forward thinking, who are progressive, who aren't stuck in a day and age where women are just used as tools and they're not used as people who can actually be at the forefront. While Triple H is progressive in that front, he does lack some abilities in terms of getting out of his own head and getting out of that rut and moving forward into new stories and making sure we can see new things. He likes to circle like a buzzard around the same tropes, the same things, and I need him to pull himself out of that rut. And the only way to do that is you got to be a little bit more progressive and think outside of yourself. Because when you look at how Shawn Michaels books versus how Triple H books, Shawn Michaels books for what we need, not what we want. And he also books so that new people are able to come in, and it's seamless. It's not done to, you know, how can I put it? It doesn't look like they're coming in to destroy the company or take over. It's not booked to look like they're building the division for them. These people that they're putting up there are already superstars. They already have what they need. You take Blake Monroe, for example, coming off of AEW with the amazing things that she's done. It would not make sense to put her in the back, waving a leaf and fanning like she's just a common girl. She is not. She is a top billing superstar. So you have to give her that red carpet. The same thing goes for somebody like Jordan, like they did for Julia and Stephanie. And to be honest, I guarantee you they thought that Julia would get the reaction that Stephanie got, but it reversed itself. Everybody was really, really into Stephanie, and they still are. They still are. Doesn't mean Julia isn't good. It just means that Julia's gonna have to work her way up a little bit harder to get what she deserves.
Right.
With all that being said, I like the idea of Cody being back there. Number one, and I know some of y'all probably gonna be like, Tiffany, be fucking for real, but I'm serious. The girls are gonna get what they need if he's back there. You're gonna have the right people at the forefront. It doesn't matter, white, black, Latina, Asian, doesn't matter. The way that Cody would bolster that women's division and the way that CM Punk would bolster that women's division, they would be booked properly and they would have proper time on TV, proper time on PLEs, because both of those men, and especially CM Punk, have an immense amount of respect, especially for women of color and just women in general. And they don't want them to feel like they're not good enough, and they want them to be booked so that people see what they're capable of. The women's division will thrive with either one of them back there. With Seth is a bit more progressive in that front too, but he probably would focus more on the men. It's just how my brain is working and what I see. And I do believe that he would be more progressive. And I also think that he would spread the wealth around, if that makes sense. He would value that tag team division like it should be. There'd be a thriving mid card division. And of course, the top guys would be vying for the title, and it would make sense. These kind of guys being put strategically in the back, I don't want them necessarily to be producing matches, but I do want them to be spread out. I need them to be everywhere where there needs to be somebody like them. Keep Phil in production, put Cody back there where Triple H is or may not be. Put Seth in production. You know what I'm saying? Like each person has to have a place, and I need them to be put in their spot so that if something arises, they can calm the storm immediately, and also they can be surrounded with people who are diverse as well. Get some women back there and get some people of color back there because they need it. It's very very apparent that they need to diversify.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just my take, and I'll let you ladies have it.
Um,
Yeah.
I think because the first we're kind of seeing the I don't want to fuck it because we're kind of seeing like the age of Aquarius going on. Like if we're just talking about strictly WWE, um, where the guys now have been indie guys. They've worked more than just in one place. You got guys like Sammy and Kevin, and shout out to Kevin Owens because just shout out to Kevin Owens, honestly. You got Kevin, you got Sammy, you got all those guys who started on the indies, and they had Alistair Black, like all these guys who have worked on the indies, and they know how bad the locker room could be, and they have fought for the locker room, and the women too, that they fought for, the locker room to be a lot more better than it was maybe like 15 years ago, 20 years ago, definitely 30 years ago. And I think now that they're more, even if they don't like each other, they're willing to work with each other and not like have petty arguments and all that shit. I mean, arguments will happen, but like they're willing to work together to put on a good show. Um, I think a lot of them will see the stupid stuff that they had to do, and they would be like, "We ain't doing this again. We're not doing it to these guys. We're not gonna run back these same storylines that we've been doing. We're gonna try new shit, and if it don't stick, then at least we fucking tried it, and people are talking about it. At least we tried." I think for the women, and this is gonna be the biggest one for me. I think a lot of the, and it's not every woman who's been back there. Let me just make this 100% clear, because you got some of the old head women, they're really cool, and they've always been ride and die for every single woman back there, unless they were total cunts and they deserved an ass whooping. But I think a lot of the pick me internal misogynistic bullshit that a lot of the old head women are still trying to pull at their big age, um, I think we won't see that, because I would love to see a lot more women transfer to the back. You got Natty right there. I've always said Natty would work great in the back, whether she's a trainer or a producer or doing something. You need to have Natalia back there. You know, I would just like to see where, you know, 30 years down the line, if we're still doing this when we're in the fucking nursing home, right? That we can talk about it and just be like, yeah, we're not seeing like, should I say names or should I be nice this week? You're not going to have like women like Mickey James being on TV saying shit, even though, it's like, oh, it's on a show, it's scripted. Like she didn't have to say it when she was talking about that one girl looking like she's wrestling in fucking underwear, or a lot of stuff that we're hearing about how women used to act. Like certain women would get like special treatment and they would lure that over people's head. I think now with locker rooms trying to basically like coming together and working together and realizing without us there is no show, that they're willing to play nice with each other. And a lot of the bullshit that wrestlers had to go through, we won't be seeing that. And I mean, there's always going to be people with diva behavior. There's always going to be people who think they're better than they really are. And that's when they need to get humbled, like really, really fast, like pissing off the wrong woman and getting your shit thrown out of the locker room and getting kicked out of the locker room. Um, Yeah, I think I think it would be great, because you would have fresh eyes on the project. Like Cody will be backstage. Dusty was backstage, and say what you will about Dusty Rhodes, I think he really revolutionized a lot of stuff for wrestling. Like he was the guy who came up with fucking war games, and because he was just like, we need a draw, and they're like, well, think of something, and he thought of something. and that type of match is being held. It's not called War Games, but it's being held in like different companies with like the same rules, the same stipulations, all that shit. And I think we're still going to have a positive uptick. I think people will know the dumb stuff not to do and the smart stuff to do it. I think a lot more people of color will be pushed. I think a lot more LGBTQ plus people will be pushed more, or at least represented. Is that even a right word? I don't know. Represented in a way that it's not just, a gimmick. It's like this person being who they are. I think it'd be a positive thing because we always talk about how like a lot of the old heads now back there, they kind of ruin everything, and like how fucking what's his hits Michael Hayes or something, he canceled a women's match because Liv dyed her hair like blonde and when it was supposed to be pink or some shit like that. Like you wouldn't see that happening. Like Cody would not be like, oh, you're not having a match because you dyed your hair a different color. Like that's not the kind of bullshit that's going to happen. I think it'll be a great thing once those guys fully get pushed out and like the new class gets pushed in, because there's so many people. Like Randy Orton could teach you how to be a heel. Now, whether you can do it, that's a different story. But like Randy back there working with the heels, like you want to be a scumbag? Okay, let me show you how to be a scumbag. Because they're not going to allow bullshit to get filtered through, if all that makes sense.
Nicole, what do you think? You still there? I think she's on. Well, when Nicole comes back, if she comes back, we can give her 2 cents. But I agree. I do think I'm not a big fan of Michael Hayes. I'm not a big fan of Bruce Pritchard. And I think they should have been phased out a long time ago. I think once this happens, it's going to be some years before that happens, before these guys move into the background.
Yeah, I'm not saying like he's going to hang the boots up tomorrow, but he did.
Yeah, but I do think Michael Hayes and Bruce Pritchard need to be.
Oh, they need to be gone
like yesterday. Yesterday. Yeah. They need to go. But I agree. I do think that it's going to foster a better environment. They already have started that in that locker room, and CM Punk even said it, and so did Carlito. Carlito was just on a podcast not too long ago, and he was like, that locker room is amazing. It's light years better than where it was when Vince was there. He was like, if I were to get hired, I'd go back in a heartbeat because of that locker room. NASA is going to be live streaming on Netflix now.
Who is?
NASA. Netflix will add NASA Plus to live streaming. What are they going to stream? That's the launches?
Probably.
For what?
So wait, we're going to have to pay us. Wait, NASA has a subscription service? I think that's the real thing.
That's why I was freaking out. I'm trying to understand, like, what does that mean?
I thought NASCAR at first. I was like, well, that's good. I already have.
If it was NASCAR, that'd be one thing. But no, she means the space people, man.
I'm also very nervous because I thought F1 was going to go to Netflix, but apparently it's probably going to go to Apple TV. And I don't have Apple TV, and also is going to probably be behind a paywall, but people are saying that they don't now. People are like freaking out and are like, I'm not trying to pay it. So hopefully that doesn't go through, because I was hoping Netflix. I'm not getting Apple TV. If not, I'm gonna figure out how to Jimmy rig it.
Yeah, NASA has a plus. They have a streaming service, and it's free. But it is now going. NASA Plus is now going to Netflix.
What the fuck are you paying to watch on NASA? A bird flying by the launch pad or some shit?
I don't know, but it looks like They're sharing their story of space and exploration with the broadest audience possible. That's what they said.
Cool. Show us the aliens you got locked up underneath Cape Canaveral there. I know you
Oh,
have some.
If they had aliens, we'd be
Not
dead by
you,
now.
Rico.
there is aliens. Also, I want them to explain why they gave up looking in the ocean and turned to exploring space. I
Dude,
would
have
like
you
those.
seen the ocean? That place
I
is
will.
fucking scary.
I would like those questions answered because I feel like they found some shit down there.
Of
I
course,
know
they
You
I'm
know
found
they did.
starting to
things
sound.
down
No,
there.
I'm being dead serious. Like
No, I
No,
believe
I'm being
you.
dead serious with you.
I believe
I'm.
you.
There is no the ocean, especially once. And I hate because obviously, like it's hard for us to get real information anywhere because it's so censored.
Mhm.
There is so much in the ocean
Hmm.
that we don't know about, and there's so many different literally like creatures and other shit that's probably living down there.
Because the depth
Mhm.
of that ocean is yet to be explored.
Yes.
They can't go down there because of the pressure. So
The ocean surrounds 70% of this planet, and we have only discovered 10% of it.
I don't want to know.
There's some shit down there.
I don't want to
Well,
know what the fuck is down there. I'm good.
There's some shit down there.
I mean, they're still like finding shit. Like the mega mouth shark is probably one of my favorite sharks. There's my tism kicking in again.
Like the
But
Marina
like
Trench, the Marina Trench is terrifying.
I'm not. I don't
it's
even like this
pitch fucking
conversation.
black down there. No, like the mega mouth shark was like one of the biggest sharks in the world. It's a filter feeder. They only discovered it in like the 60s.
Mm-mm. Nope. I'm okay. I don't need to know.
That's the
Mm.
only thing I would say to them.
You know what? I'm kind of happy that we only have like discovered and then I'll let Nicole talk. I'm kind of happy we've only like discovered 10% of the ocean because humankind's already fucked it up enough. I don't want to know what else they're capable of doing if we ever did fully able to explore the damn thing.
True that.
As a Scorpio, I like knowing information, and I specifically like knowing information that other people don't
I'm a
know.
Leo. I just like being
So
messy.
I want to know.
I do not.
That's what I said, and I think I had like this conversation at work because we were talking about how obviously how easy it is to be president now, and I said I literally and I was like talking to like one of like my kitchen people, and I was like. If I was like, I only ever want to be president so I can look through shit. I only want to
Right.
be, I said, I only need to be president for 48 hours. That's all I need. And then I would like resign. I
I
I
want
just
to
am dead.
I want to look in the books. I want to look at I want to go in like the bunkers and shit, see what's there. I want to look at all the secrets. I want to go look at where I know there's tunnels down there. I want to go
Yeah,
look at
there
the
uh-huh.
is.
tunnels. I want them to take me to Walt Disney's head. Um
I'm so done.
I
Just so.
also I want them I want to know where the aliens are at.
I don't want
Yep.
to know that. I
I want
don't.
I do.
there's
I need to know.
we
And then
cannot be
after that, I want someone to take me to the Vatican
For
oh,
what?
to
can
look
I
at
come
their
with you?
archives. That is like again, this is like me being like a library and a book nerd and stuff, but there is so much in the Vatican's archives that is so
Hmm.
locked away that we have no idea about.
I, I,
The
you know,
Vatican has the
The
Vatican
vat
has that I
insanely
want to see.
crazy shit. There's
Well,
some
we spoke.
sections I won't go in because there's like some real bad juju probably in them, and I'm like, ooh,
Oh,
nope.
well, yeah, there
I'll
is.
walk.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there is.
I'll observe. I'll like walk around or something. I won't go in there. But there's like some real crazy shit there. I have
I
to
mean,
know,
it's the
I can't
Vatican.
with y'all.
They. So no, there's this book, and it's an actual book, and the
and
Vatican
I'm
has it.
convinced. And again, because this is one of my Roman empires is the Library of Alexandria. And I
Yes.
am convinced that there is stuff from the Library of Alexandria in the Vatican. I'm 100% convinced.
No, in the Vatican, they actually have this is just me with all the creepy, weird shit, right? they have a lot of shit that has to do with like demonic activity. Like there is a book, and it's a huge ass book. Like it could take up a good portion of your fucking living dining room table, right? And apparently it was written by a monk who did this all in one night. And apparently, according to all the paranormal shows I watch, it has all like everything about the afterlife, heaven, hell, demons, angels, Satan, like all that shit. And he wrote it all in one night. And they're like, there's no way this dude could do it. He doesn't even, like, the monk apparently didn't remember writing it. But like, no, I'm with Nicole. Like, I need to know because as soon as I be president, they'd be like, well, no. Show me the Kennedy files. Get me everything you have on JFK. I want to read it, and do not bug me for at least 24 hours because no. And then show me the aliens, and then I'll get to work.
Yes, and then I'm going to the Vatican.
Right.
Because they got everything. They have, what do they have there?
They
That I
apparently
low-key kind of don't want to see, but I do want to see. They apparently, who is it? It's Mary.
have
Don't they have like Mary's skull or something?
Mary Magdalene's skull.
Yeah.
They got that shit preserved.
What are they
Which
doing
is
with her
gross.
skull?
Yeah. It's like it's a little. It's like the way people have described it. It's like it's a little too well preserved. It's a little odd.
Yeah. Like
I actually, now
have
that
it
I
at
think about
all.
it, I don't need to see all that.
Thank you.
I just want to know where it's. I just need to know that
I
shit.
kind of like. I want to see like a certain amount of it because apparently, like they actually, and I would just want to see this for scientific research. Apparently, I'm not fucking with you on this. They apparently actually have a piece of the cross that Jesus was crucified on, but they won't let anybody else see it.
I would want to see that.
I would want to see that. I would want to see it just to see it, and then I would want to carbonate it.
Oh no, I mean I'd probably cry, but I would want to see that.
I would want to see it, like and I would do it in the most respectful way. I'd just be like, damn. I'd be like, oh,
that's like, because Jesus, that sucked.
She God.
I say, and these people are still trash.
Period.
And I will go look at something else.
I
feel bad you did this. These people is still trash.
Yes.
Like, look what you did, and they don't give it. And
look at all this.
I don't even practice, and I'm showing you more respect than they do. Like, come on,
ungrateful motherfuckers! I tell you, man.
Y'all are horrible.
Be like,
I'm
not
legit wrong with y'all. Like y'all are like,
no, because it's like
literally
back
in a room with a piece of the cross that God Jesus died on, and Nicole's just like, these motherfuckers ain't shit. Look what you died on this. They ain't shit. They ain't gave you no honor or nothing.
I'm serious. I would say that because
I would just go up to him and be like, look, man, I don't practice, but I respect you. You seeing what these dumb shits are doing in your name? I know that's not what you fucking said.
Like, you might need to come clean some shit up. Honestly, I think we're kind of done. I think we should start from scratch.
But no, it's just cool shit like that. Like, how did we get on this?
Because of Nicole.
What?
We got on this because of her. Because she didn't answer before because she was on mute. So I brought up NASA.
I was trying to load my dishwasher. My bad.
No, you're fine. It's fine. It's not that we are good. It's content.
Oh man, young classic.
We were on the NASA Plus app. That's how we got
because
to
that's
this.
weird.
That's how we got here. And then the aliens came up, and then we got to this.
Now, I believe in aliens because I'm going to just say this. If we are the only intelligent life forms in this whole fucking universe, that's sad.
I don't think that's true. I believe in aliens. I just don't. I don't want them to come messing with me, just like I don't want to go messing with them.
Yeah, I'll be like, look, cool, man. You guys can stay over there. Just if you're looking for intelligent life, you need to go to the next planet. We ain't that good over here right now.
There ain't no life on the. Well, it might be. We can't survive the other planet, so.
It's just one of those things where I think of where it's just like, damn, if we are the only humanoid intelligent creatures in this whole universe, with like galaxies that we haven't even discovered as mankind, and we're the only ones. That's just, I don't know, that just makes the universe, it's like so massive, but it's so empty at the same time. It's like that existential dread that I give myself.
I don't think that's true. I think there are multiple forms of life. We just haven't discovered them yet because nobody wants to go through the black holes. And fair enough, you don't know if you're gonna die or make it to the other side. So,
Well, yeah. I mean, space is scary too. Think about it. We only discovered 10% of the ocean. We've only just, like, in our little part of the whole universe itself, we only know what we know. So, I mean,
that's why I said it's best to not know than to go seeking it. Because when you seek it, you put yourself in very, very, very difficult situations. I would rather stay where I'm at and deal with if it comes along to fight and it's like, hey, we exist. And I'm like, oh, great. Love that for you.
well, that's like the whole thing, like, and then we'll get back to the actual subject. But that's like how, like, it used to be when like Kenny and Maj were in a group chat, and they would always talk about like they want to go like fuck with ghosts and shit and like haunted houses or like demon possessed houses. I'm like, y'all are fine. I'm white, but I ain't that damn white to be going messing with these damn things. Like, y'all can go, and I'll be
No,
waiting in the car. Like, that's fine. You
spirits
guys can go.
attach themselves, like entities attach themselves to people. And I don't understand why people don't get that. You going in there asking them questions and trying to mess with them, you gonna fuck around and have that shit in your house and it will not leave you alone. You'll
No,
be
I don't.
tormented.
Like, I just got peace back in my house. Okay, I don't need somebody. I don't need some 17th century ghosts coming fucking my shit up. Okay, like, y'all can go.
Oh,
I'm white, but I
I don't do that. I love you, Laura. Laura went to the Zach whatever museum shit in Vegas, and she kept
Mm-mm.
asking me. She was like, "Do you want to go?" I said, "No, no, 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 no." And
there.
she's like, I forgot what she said. She said she either went to church or she did something beforehand. Not that day, but like before she came to Vegas, just in case she did go to that.
Mm-mm.
So I
I
was
I
like,
wouldn't.
yeah, I said no because he gives me bad vibes, so I
He
don't.
had a good. I don't like him, but there is actually something really cool that I wish I told you to go check out for me. But I know you were probably busy with wrestling stuff. Which, you deserved it because you finally went to Mania after all these fucking years. So
Yeah,
yay for Nicole.
Yeah. We
sure
was
There's
hell
in a
not
a
group
going next
chat.
year.
We was in a group chat giving her all types of prayers and just like send her good vibes. She got to go. This
yeah, like digging up eldritch entities, being like, "Yo, what's
like
up?
no.
You owe me a favor, man."
As soon as she came in the chat, like, oh, I was like, I thought she was gonna come in and say she couldn't go. I was like, hell no, your ass is going. Whatever
Daryl
they
came up to
gotta
me.
do, you're going.
Daryl came up to me and he goes, "Did Nicole make it this year?" And I said, "Yeah, she did. She's there right now." And we told her what not to do. And he's like, "Oh, thank God."
It was that shit was a saga. It really was. And I was like, I'm like, Gerard was like, did she get to go? And I'm like, yeah, she made it. And the only thing I was sad about was because she got to go, but Trady was gone before she
Yeah,
could go with him. That was the
but
only
he,
thing I was sad about.
but you know
Yeah,
what? He was there in spirit, and he had the best fucking seats in the house, man. So that's
Fair
one way
enough.
you got to think about it.
yeah,
He was looking down, going like, "These, how he used to
yeah.
he'd just be shaking his head and some shit." But I wish I asked you this because I was sick like long time ago, and I guess they had like this little mini thing on Netflix with like Zach Baggins Haunted Museum, and there was this guy, you could tell he was a character actor, and he came dressed up like 1920s mafia guy, right? So apparently there's a mafia museum in Vegas, which fitting, right? So he and then we'll get back to the conversation we had beforehand. But but he came in and he told Zach Baggins that if you're a mafia history whatever like I am, he actually had a piece of the wall that the St. Valentine's Day massacre happened at.
That's crazy.
Uh-uh.
And if you guys don't know what that was, in Chicago back in the day, this is my little nerd shit kicking in. back in Chicago in the 20s, that was gangland back then. Everybody who was everybody had fucking mafias there. And
Gang banging.
And the two biggest ones was the Irish mafia and the Italian mafioso. They did not like each other. So on Valentine's Day, I can't remember the exact date. Again, my internet's acting up, so it won't let me fucking Google this shit. But on Valentine's Day, the Italians somehow got a lot of Irish mafia members to come up against, like, to come into this warehouse or whatever. And they were posing as cops, I think. And they were trying to bring them in. And then next thing you know, they take out the Tommy guns, true gangster fashion, and they killed them. They lined them up on the wall and they massacred them, hence the name St. Valentine's Day Massacre. And this guy comes in, totally, like, this older gentleman, totally dressed up like a mafia guy, which I'm like, you know what, if you're going to do character work, do fucking character work. Like, all right, you know, like, I got that. And he is telling Zach that he needs him to come in and do an investigation, because of course he fucking does. And because he cannot keep security guys. Like, they have like a big piece of the wall. It's not like a brick or anything. It's like a huge fucking piece of it. And he's like, my security guys will not go into this room because they're hearing people screaming at night. And like what Tip just said, like, stuff holds on to energy, especially like people's last moments. And he's like, you know, we picked up this like video or this audio, and it's this like grown man crying for his mother because he's dying, and it was one of the Irish
That's
gangsters.
so sad.
Jesus.
And
I don't like that.
Me either.
So and he's like, my guys will not go in the room. I can't keep security guards because, yeah, it's mafia history. It's not exactly the most cookie cutter shit in the world, right? Like, they did some dastardly shit to each other. Like, in their own families, they did dastardly shit to each other. He's like, but, you know, we're hearing screaming, we're hearing crying, we're hearing, you know, and he's like, I can't keep a security guard because they'll leave 2 days afterwards. So they go and they do like a little reading of it. And sure enough, you know, you clean it up or whatever. Now, this is just, I honestly believe this, but you could hear like screams and yells, and you could hear the guy crying for his mom.
Oh.
And like, I'm just like, you know what? I would want to go to that, but I ain't going at night because I don't need to hear that shit. Like, I'm already mentally fucked up as it is. I don't need to be hearing this shit from, like, you know, like 2 centuries, like how many decades ago. And because, you know, the Irish and me don't exactly like hearing my own kinfolk. So, you know, yeah.
I would feel bad. I probably would leave like a prayer card or something.
That would make me very upset.
Yeah,
I
would
don't
be.
like that.
Yeah, I don't like that. That's really sad. Yeah, I'd probably like leave like a prayer card or something for
So
him.
it was hard hearing that, but it was just like, damn, you know, and Netflix doesn't have it anymore. But it's it was pretty gut wrenching, man, because you gotta understand, some of these mafia people, some of them were like kids, like the lower ranking like guys.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're
they
like
were like
teenagers. They're
they were
like
like
13, 15, 16.
like 17. Like, these guys got mowed down, like, you know, like teenagers, early 20s, not living their full life to their, you know, their fullest, and they got mowed down in the prime of their life. Because back then, and I had a, like, Harley was asking me about it, which is really weird. I should be wondering why my 10-year-old knows about the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, but
you're a 10-year-old. That's probably why. No shade, but
no, that's
Also,
true.
I'm pretty sure they teach that.
Well, I don't know, but
I feel like that's an American history. Because I feel like I remember learning about it in school.
I don't know, but she was asking me about it, and I was just like, yeah, you know, back in Chicago back in the day, like, one of my grandmother's friends, she was we called her Aunt Rose, and she's just like a friend of the family kind of thing. And she was alive back in the 20s, and she swore up and down. I never had any physical proof. She swore up and down that she knew Al Capone. And I was like, and then you learn about Al Capone, and you're just like, man, I hope you didn't sleep with Al Capone, because then you would have got syphilis, man. But yeah, so it was, yeah, that's my little That's my little. Anyway, Nicole. The conversation at hand that we were having.
I can't with her. We were talking about the producers and transitioning into
Yeah.
backstage, and then you're going to be the last call, and then we're going to go ahead and call it a night. So
Fun
you,
fact or weird fact, what's it called? Um Toledo also has like a really extensive mafia background for
Really?
oh,
that time frame. Yes. There's
oh,
a
Huh.
lot of mafia ties in Toledo, and actually there has been like shootouts and stuff like that. There's actually a building somewhere over here downtown that happened.
oh,
And also there's like, we actually did it during COVID. I forgot, but you can take basically a guided um mafia tour.
Really?
mm,
Yeah.
Oh, let me
But
add
yeah,
that
you
to
guide
notes.
it, but yeah, you can do it in your car. And I forgot, I need to ask Brian because I'm pretty sure they still have it. You basically log into something, you like log into something and you like hook it up like through your car, like it's like an app or something like that. Or, and then also there used to be like a radio station that used to be able to access to like a certain point that you can find the program as well. And it literally like has you like drive around to different places like downtown and stuff that were like the mafia hotspots.
Oh, that's fucking rad. That's actually pretty cool. Let me do that. Let me make a note of that because I need to come up to Toledo and do that now. That sounds pretty fucking
I'll
rad.
have to text Brian and remember because this was like during COVID when we did this because again we have nothing else better to do. And I don't even know how well he's like from here, so and he actually really knows a lot of the history of the city, which is really
Mm-hmm.
cool. Um but we were just like, all right, we'll do this. 'Cause there's COVID, there's nothing else for you to fucking do. But it
That's
was
so
actually
funny.
really interesting.
Yeah, but it's funny with mafia history, and then I'll let Nicole get the last thing about the produce, like all the guys now transitioning to backstage. You don't really realize, like, without the mafia, there wouldn't have been a lot of shit that we know now. Like, I don't know if it's like for F1, but I know because somewhere along the line, I had to do something with the fucking mafia, whether that a family member was with it or whatever. But how we got NASCAR is actually connected to the mafia, which is really freaking cool because like back then it was prohibition, right? That was like the mafia heyday because they would have bootleggers and moonshiners and all that. And all the people up in the fucking, all the hillbillies up in the mountains, they didn't like the cops. So, they would pay these guys to make, bootleg hooch or whatever and then bring it to them. And they had to soup up their cars to outright to beat out the cops. They would get like people on the inside, like looking at the cops' engines and shits in their cars, and then they would soup up like their little redneck put together little wagons or whatever, and they would like race to deliver this shit. And from that, we got NASCAR. So it's like, damn, it's history's weird and cool, man. I love it.
I don't remember if it was Senna or some. No, it's not Senna. I can't. I'm so mad that I'm forgetting his name. But there is a F1 driver who was kidnapped by the mafia while he
What?
was an active F1 driver.
Oh shit, for real?
Yeah. Also, my friend Vaughn, and he's probably going to be really pissed because I don't remember all the parts, my but one of my really good friends, his grandfather was kidnapped by the it was either a Venezuelan like government or the gang. Oh my god, he's gonna be so mad.
Now, see, I don't mess with,
It's actually like a big deal. I forgot what it's something with Venezuela. Like
I don't
his
mess
like
with the
grandfather was like kidnapped and it was like a big thing. Like they thought he was like dead, but he ended up coming back or he ended up getting like rescued or whatever. But it was like a big thing. Like he's had like people have like come to like his like house to like interview like come to like his family's house to like interview them about it. Like there's been like books written about it.
Holy shit.
Oh my god, I'm so mad I'm blanking about this. But I'm like, that is such crazy lore. And then to segue to more backstage roles, I think it's great. I really am. I will figure out what they produced. I'm more so leaning towards it being a house show. To me, that's what it sounds like. But I also like, I love how they're doing I love how there's an avenue for people to be out, like, once they're out of the ring, that doesn't seem like it's a step down, or it's like, or it's sort of like, oh my gosh, like, you're just like, oh, this is just sort of, I don't want to say like the next best thing, or it just kind of being like not it not being seen as like a consolation prize anymore, because I
Hmm.
felt like that's kind of like how it was viewed for a very number of years, especially for like a lot of like the old guns. It was sort of like, well, they can't leave it alone, and this is their consolation prize, even though a lot of them like did good stuff or whatever. But I think with us, especially, like, they're seeing like how successful they can be, and then how much they can like help shape like other people's careers, even if they had successful ones themselves, or if they didn't have to get to have like a fully fleshed out career. And these are people like the Jason Jordans and the Bobby Roods,
Hmm.
um which happened to both of them. It's super sad, but I'm happy that they're thriving, and but they're also so good at their jobs that they have elevated and continue to elevate so many other people.
It's also, you have to think about it this way too, that we see a lot of the older ones now where they have a lot of like health issues because they didn't know when to stop, or even more the scary thing, they didn't have anything to fall back on because that time period there wasn't a lot of crossover that they could use. So it's also something like you don't like it, like we all know AJ's gonna stop wrestling. He's gonna hit 50. He's very close to 50.
Oh,
I know. I don't want him to go either, but he's like, I want to be there for my kids. I want to be able to
which
like
I love and respect him for that.
anybody's like that. That's why like if Kevin doesn't come back to the ring, completely understand that. I
I don't
will
want
love
to
him.
think about that.
I know, but it's something that we're gonna have to probably brace ourselves for, man. Like he last time I think he was doing that interview with Cody on Cody's podcast, and they have the surgeries, like they're trying to not do the surgery, like they're trying to see if like some stuff will heal up on its own, and he's like, yeah, surgery is like the like last case scenario kind of thing.
Yeah.
But a lot of these, like, and I should have said this when I was talking earlier, that a lot of the old guard, they didn't have a lot of stuff to fall back on. But like that's why you see a lot of wrestlers now, they have like degrees and shit, or they're in some cases are already getting ready to do the transfer out from wrestling because they see guys like Ric Flair and Jeff Jarrett and Hulk Hogan, and they don't want to
Ric Flair
become
just
Joe.
had surgery. I think it's yesterday.
He still wants to do one more match, like,
Oh my god,
no.
buddy, pack it up.
It's like I think they see like a lot of the guys who like I think they see a lot of like the older guys now, like when you see Taker. And like the thing that really got me is when I saw a picture of him after he had like fucking double hip surgery. And you see him on like the arm braces, like holding himself up. And that broke my damn heart because that's the fucking Undertaker, like that's not supposed to be him. I think a lot of them are seeing like they can't keep wrestling forever because either something seriously bad is going to happen, or whatever legacy they built up, they're going to become jokes.
Yeah,
So I don't.
and then we can wrap it up. And it's just like, I also just like how what a weird episode of Cake Wars this is. Um, and also I just think and also it's just like it's a good avenue for those wrestlers to have who aren't, I mean, who don't want to go in other avenues of entertainment
Mhm.
and who just want to be around wrestling, want to stick around with it, blah 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 blah. This is like a great this is like a great avenue for them. That's
Right.
it.
Yeah, like you don't, man, it's wild. Like fanboys coming back to Knoxville, I think this month actually. And like the Hardy Boys are back. And it's like really weird to see like the Hardy Boys at these things like signing autographs. I don't know, it's just something weird to me about it, if that makes like any sense. I don't know. But I just don't, I mean, I think a lot of wrestlers are just smarter nowadays, if that makes sense. Like some of them are pretty stupid, but like career wise, they know they can't keep doing this into their 70s. Not everybody can be Terry Funk having death matches on their like 65th birthday or some shit like that. Uh, and I think Tiff is on mute. So
And she gave
yeah,
up.
or she got kicked out, one of the two.
Yeah.
One day we will be a professional podcast, but today is not that
It's
day.
fine. We just edit this out because there's nothing else for us to talk about
All
podcast
right.
wise, anyways.
Yeah.
We'll just wait for her to pop back in. I like know this person. I feel like, oh, I can't figure out what to watch. I low key need to take a bath. I'm like super sore.
What so like okay, so she'll probably edit this out. What caused that? Like you said you like what were you doing when you started feeling like the pains in your ass, like literally?
This is really embarrassing. I literally think because I strained myself to poop so bad because that day, and that's why I said like I'm gonna stop drinking coffee for a long time or anything. I'm starting to even like encounter this. I low key need to go. I need to call my I'm gonna call my doctor tomorrow because I low key feel like I need to go see the doctor too because I feel like my stomach is just like so I feel like I just have so much issues with my stomach now. Um and I was like, my stomach hurt so bad after I like drink and I didn't even like not even finish half the cup. I would maybe a fourth of it, and I was like, well, if I just make myself poop, hopefully, oh, it didn't help. And then I just strained myself, and then I was like sitting down, and it was just like such at a weird spot, and I was like, what is wrong? And I said, oh my god, I know what I did. And it hurt really bad for a little bit, like the first, like that next morning. Because at first I was fine. The first couple times I got up, I was like, okay, I'm not bad. This is fine. It's not that bad. And then I laid down, and then I laid down, and I got up, and then that's when I got up for real, to like finish out the rest of like to get ready for the morning and stuff. And I was like, whoa, this isn't good. And then I was uncomfortable for most of the day at work, and then it started to feel better. Then I started to feel better, and that's when I figured out it was all my fault.
Sucks. Red Tiff put y'all can do the outro. My audio is messing up and I'll end the show. All right, yeah. Tiff, edit that part out that Nicole just said.
Yeah, you just put the outro, and then we will sign off.
Yeah. So follow us on socials. We are on Instagram. We are on Twitter. Are we on any other socials or just those two?
Twitter, Instagram. There's a Facebook. I don't check it because I don't even check my
Yeah.
own Facebook.
All right. Yeah. Just follow us. You can find us down for the count podcast 19 on Instagram and D4TC 19 on Twitter. Follow Tiff's page, Psych Design TV 2. She goes live every Monday, Tuesday, and Friday for wrestling stuff. Wednesday is either podcast report time or she does her own thing. If there's anything you guys ever want us to talk about wrestling wise, just let us know on either of our socials. And I think that's it. So thank y'all for listening to Down for the Count. We will see y'all maybe next week because we don't know what everyone's schedule looks like yet. But we'll try to get something out for y'all. And next week, it's going to be a lot of wrestling. So brace yourselves. But y'all have a great rest of your night, day, evening, whenever you're listening to this. Bye.
Bye.
Down for the count.